Howdy folks, it's the Creepy Kentuckian back with you again for another in our long-running horror movie / Blu-ray / 4K reviews. Today we're going over to the land of the rising sun. A lot of you guys know back in the mid to late 2000s there was a gigantic J-horror boom, mainly due to the gigantic success of the Ringu series created by Hideo Nakata. Those movies made a ton of cash, even made a lot of money over here in the United States, which back in those days was unheard of. That led to the J-horror boom that we were talking about on the show years and years ago. Early boutique labels such as Tartan Asia Extreme was releasing this J-horror stuff every week almost. There was a ton of these movies. And like everything else, too much of a good thing turns into a bad thing, believe it or not. Got watered down. Soon after, there were like haunted toilets. You had like haunted phone booths, haunted radio stations. It just kind of got ridiculous. But in the early days, there was some great stuff out there for you guys to check out. And everything that is old is new again. So this movie that we're talking about today is from way back in 2002. Hideo Nakata's follow-up for Ringu and Ringu 2 is this creepy atmospheric J-horror known as Dark Water, which had a remake as well shortly after this movie in 2005 starring Jennifer Connelly. That was a pretty big hit here in the United States, but it didn't hit home like the original Japanese Dark Water. Today, we are taking a look at the movie. It is 22 years old this year. Our good friends over at Arrow Video is bringing this thing out today. It comes out today on 4K UHD, a brand new transfer on this thing. We're going to talk about the movie, talk about the special features, and do you dare to go in to the dark water? Dark Water from 2002, Hideo Nakata's follow-up to the first two Ring films, the movies that did make him a household name in Japan. The movie follows young single mother Yoshimi, who moves into a new apartment complex with her young daughter Ikuko. At first, everything, of course, seems fine with the new place, but as time goes by, strange occurrences begin to happen in the apartment. Water stains begin to appear on the ceiling and constantly drip. Becomes commonplace to see puddles in the hallways of the home. They can't get much help from the landlords to fix anything. Yoshimi begins to see a girl in a yellow raincoat who resembles a missing girl from years earlier. All the while she is having custody issues with her ex-husband and is very stressed out. And these visions, of course, don't improve things. This movie is a slow build, but it has a very unique, uneasy feeling from the get-go. Very memorable ending as well. Lead actress in the movie, Hitomi Kuroki, does a fantastic job as Yoshimi. And this is a pretty damn effective movie. Now, I'll be the first to admit to you guys that I'm not a gigantic J-horror fan. I got burnt out on this stuff years and years ago. So many of these movies were released weekly, and we were sent all of them on DVD probably 15 years ago when, this stuff was kind of at its peak in popularity. So that kind of watered the genre down for me. But this was a fun one to go back and revisit. Dark Water from 2002 is a very unique movie. It has a very creepy vibe throughout the entire film. You can definitely tell Hideo Nakata has his own vision, and man, this movie is crazy. That being said, though, this is kind of a slow build movie as well. It's all about atmosphere and the vibes and everything. Now, there was some different J-horror back in the day. A lot of splatter stuff. The Takashi Miike movies and everything like that were popular as well. One of my favorites from around that time period was Chan-wook Park, who did the Vengeance trilogy and everything. Really love those movies a lot. Not necessarily straight horror movies, but yeah, those are among my favorites. When it comes to some of the big J horror movies, like Ringu and Ju-on and everything, Dark Water has to be one of my favorite ones of those three. So, that being said, man, this new 4K UHD edition from Arrow Video recently came out. And from what I can tell, Arrow did do a Blu-ray edition of this back in 2016. And look at some of the screenshots online and everything. This new 4K transfer kicks that one's ass. This thing looks great in 4K. The movie has never looked better than this, I'm willing to bet. So if you're a purist and everything, you want the best video quality, this new 4K UHD edition from Arrow Video is the one to get. There is a lot of extras on this as well. We can go ahead and talk about those. Included in the package, you get an illustrated collector's booklet featuring writing on the film by David Collette and Michael Gingold. There's trailers and TV spots, reversible sleeve featuring the original and the newly commissioned artwork by Peter Strain, the original making of documentary. There's archive interviews with the actresses in the movie, visualizing horror, an interview with cinematographer Junrichu Hayashi, Family Terrors, an interview with author Koji Suzuki, Ghosts, Rings, and Water, an interview with the director Hideo Nakata, and optional English subtitles. Now, this is the first time this movie has been released in 4K and is held by many as a modern horror classic that inspired the hit American remake from the same guy that brought us Ringo. Being quite honest with you guys, which that's part of the gig here when I do these reviews. So if you already own the Blu-ray of this, you'll want to make sure that you realize that the only thing new in this 4K is the transfer. So all the special features and everything are the same that was from that Blu-ray 8 years ago. But the transfer on this thing is fantastic. I know a lot of people were kind of perturbed by the 2016 transfer. People weren't fans of it or anything. This one is getting much higher ratings, looks a lot better and everything. If you don't own the movie at all, well, duh, you want to pick this up. Arrow Video does a fantastic job on 98.9% of all their releases. This one is no exception. Alright guys, so that is it for the review. Dark Water is out today. Be sure to check it out. And check us out. We are over at DEADPIT.com. Give us the thumbs up.
Up you butt.
Like, subscribe. And if you subscribe, here's something else you can do. Once you subscribe, you can click the bell notification, right? And it'll notify you anytime that Dead Pit puts up new shit.
Or don't. I really don't give a fuck.
I want you to. I want you to.
I don't care.
Let's keep our community growing here on YouTube.
I don't like it. I don't want you to do nothing.
Listen, they need to do that.
No, don't you dare touch it.
Thumbs up. Subscribe. Click that bell.
There's all kinds of wonderful shirts over at shop.deadpit.com. Simply the best horror shirts. On TeePublic, there are others, but they all suck. You can get some Dead Pit Radio shirts. You can get Last South on the Left. The Hills Have Eyes. Texas Chainsaw. Oh, wait, you can't say Texas Chainsaw. All kinds of shirts, folks. You're gonna love them. Shop.deadpit.com.
Thank you to all of our supporters on Patreon. Dead Pit on Patreon.com is the only place to check out a complete archive of the old Dead Pit radio shows all the way back from 2005 on, in addition to the midweek shows, fan commentaries, exclusive podcasts, and much more. Dead Pit on Patreon.com if you're interested. Tiers start at only $1.